Neeraj, morning. The market volatility index is at a low point, as Kunal is pointing out. And if you look at the broader markets, you have IT companies. The index was up yesterday. TCS analyst meet also came in where they, for the first time, spoke about the total AI order book that they have, or they've been clocking nearly $1 billion or $1.5 billion in annualized revenues from AI. How do you look at the IT pack as a whole?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, definitely the way market has been behaving lately, it's very difficult to look at pockets where, one can invest and make money. But IT, I think, because of the way US dollar, rupee has behaved, rupee has weakened, and with, some positive indications we got from the last quarterly updates also. So I feel that there is definitely some case for some positive momentum in IT. Though I'm not looking at IT to be a real big outperformer, but I think in this kind of a market, this can outperform the market and give you decent returns from these levels. Looking at there is lack of clarity on what is happening on the broader market right now.
The overall market, but let's also discuss and talk about some more stocks that are going to be on the radar today on the back of individual news flows. And Kanishka is joining us with that list. Kanishka, what's looking good?
Absolutely. Many stocks that we are focusing on today. First up, let's talk about HCL Tech. Now, this one has been selected as a strategic partner by ASN Bank, which is the fourth largest retail bank in Netherlands. This is to modernize and standardize its IT infrastructure, that is IT architecture. So yes, that's the one that we'll be watching out for, HCL Tech, on the back of this latest partnership. Next up, from the power space, we have NTPC. Now, NTPC is a step-down subsidiary that has declared commercial operations of 37.9 megawatt solar capacity at its Khavra project in Gujarat. Now, why this is important? Because this takes the total capacity of the NTPC group as a whole to more than 85.5 gigawatts. So yes, a significant development over there. We'll watch out for how the stock reacts. Next up, there is Bajaj Electricals. This one also has has announced its entry into the solar solutions industry. This as a new line of business under its existing lighting solutions segment. So yes, a new segment coming up, a new line within one existing segment. So we'll watch out for how the stock reacts. Next up, another one from the solar space, MV Photovoltaic, a positive development here as well. Its subsidiary that has received possession certificate for 100 acres of land from KIADB to establish its 6 gigawatt integrated solar cell and module facility in Bengaluru. So we'll wait for how the stock reacts. A big development here as well. Next up on the list is Cyient Limited, a positive development here. It has announced an agreement to acquire a majority stake of over 65% in Kinetic Technologies. This is a leading US-based power semiconductor firm, and this acquisition is going to be for a consideration of up to $93 million. So yes, we'll wait out for how Cyient reacts to this development as well. And lastly, there is Fujiyama Power Systems and Europratik Sales. Both of these new debutants, their lock-in period ends today. So we'll see how the stock reacts. These are also going to be in focus.
Okay, Kanishka, thanks for taking us through that. Well, the other stock that will continue to remain in focus after seeing weakness yesterday is Ola Electric, because we understand that Bhavish Agarwal, who's the founder and promoter, he has sold another 4.2 crore shares in the open market. Neeraj, your sense on the EV two-wheeler space right now? Anything like an Ola, Ather looking attractive, or when it comes to EVs, you would prefer the four-wheeler space at this moment?
No, basically EV, I would prefer the four-wheeler space definitely, but two-wheeler also I would look at integrated players, something like a Bajaj Auto or a Hero Motor, because I'm positive on auto space as a whole, including two-wheeler. But I not specifically look at Ola because it doesn't really augur well for the promoter to be selling at this kind of a price in the market, and they have been struggling also lately. The margins have not improved. They've not been able to increase their profitability or become profitable. So that definitely overhang is still there. So stock is expensive, and even after such a big correction. So I would rather look at Hero MotoCorp or a Bajaj, or in the four-wheeler space. That I think Maruti looks very interesting, and Mahindra and TVS have been two stocks which have been doing well, which are portfolio stocks, which I continue to be positive on.
One with a huge block yesterday was the JSW Paints acquired company, if I can call it that now, Akzo Nobel. where you had a 9% block, promoter block, which came on stream. Now, at the end of 30th September, it seemed like the promoter owned around 69%. So this could be a big one, because if 9% stake has indeed been sold, then the agreement with JSW Paints was that of 60% acquisition of Akzo Nobel. And therefore, you might well see a supply overhang go away. Let me bring on board Somil Mehta first off, Head Alternate Research at Mirae Asset, joining us this morning as well. Uh, uh, Somil, with regard to this one on charts, which is Akzo Nobel, do you have a view?
Good morning to everyone. Apologies, I don't have a view on this one.
Sure.
I probably won't be able to comment on this.
Sure.
Apologies.
Kunal, do you have one? The kind of move that we've seen on the stock?
Yeah, I think yesterday, of course, the stock managed to break its major support. Akzo Nobel is one of those few stocks which is less liquid. So, it tends to go off radar many a times when the stock goes into a sideways consolidation. So, I think over the last 1.5 odd year, we've seen the stock getting into a trading range of 500 points, thereabouts, 30 to 50 as a support, 3750 broadly as a resistance for Akzo Nobel. But, after such kind of a sharp gap down move, the stocks generally have inertia trend on the downside, and the fact that the stock is now nearing or has confirmed a break of that 30 to 50 mark as the support levels, it's bound to go into a further near-term corrective move, I would sense. So I would believe Akzo Nobel over the near term could probably go into a further leg of correction. Maybe sub that 3,000 mark could be a zone where the first major support could arise for Akzo Nobel.
Okay, so below 3,000 is what Kunal is looking at. Neeraj, this one now trades below all of its peers except a Kansai Nerolac. That's the only one which is slightly cheaper versus an Akzo Nobel. An opportunity within the paint space, you reckon, from a fundamental perspective?
Yeah, I think because the paint space looks positive to me, but Akzo Nobel, the way it's been correcting, I would rather wait and see where it makes a base. In this kind of a market, even timing gets very important, when you enter into a stock. So I would be positive on the paint space, even Akzo Nobel, but not a buy immediately. I'll rather see it stabilize and maybe consolidate and then maybe make a fresh buy from here.
Okay, so that's on the paint space. Neeraj, give us your sense on this entire solar play that a lot of electrical or consumer durables players are now foraying into. We've seen this happening from V-Guard, from Polycab. Bajaj Electricals has announced this foray today, and also Crompton Greaves Consumer Electricals has forayed in a major fashion in the solar rooftop and EPC segments. What is your take on the opportunity that the solar space holds for some of these players?
There is opportunity, but I think sooner than later the capacity is going to be huge there. So where the supply and the demand mismatch may start happening. But if you see it, players like integrated players like Adani Green or Tata Power, which are into solar, thermal, wind. I think that is where I think those power generators is where I think there's opportunity. There you may get better return than you go for a pure equipment manufacturer where competition is going to be huge. Margin may not be that great going ahead. So I'd rather go for integrated, power generator than equipment manufacturer. This specifically for solar.
Interesting. Okay. And some of the other counters that will be in focus. You've got an MV photovoltaic. That one is a large one in terms of the order size. They've received possession of 100 acres for a 6 gigawatt solar factory. It's not exactly a new order win, but it's a critical step towards unlocking value. What do you make, Neeraj, of some of the green energy players, something like an MV, something like a KP Green, which has signed that 5 gigawatt renewable energy infra development project at Botswana? That's a first, right? So trying to get your view with regard to a couple of these plays and how you view them in terms of risk reward.
See, I've not really specifically seen the valuations of MV or any the stock you mentioned, API Green. But like I mentioned, that integrated players who are into power and they're into, like I mentioned, the stocks like whether it's JSW Energy or whether it's Adani Green, or even wind energy. I think that is space. I feel there is opportunity. They will definitely, going ahead, the kind of capex that is lined and the kind of capacity which is going to come. There, I continue to be positive on. I think there is opportunity. You've seen a good correction there also because some of these stocks, if you see immediate, their debt is high. If for that may stay high for a couple of years. I think 27, 28 is when most of the capacities will start coming in and the debt levels will start reducing. But till that time, debt should stay high. So one has to see where the risk reward is and what kind of debt levels and what kind of DCA would be a better way to value most of these companies.
Okay. Another stock that's going to be in focus, like we were discussing earlier, is Antony Waste. The company's subsidiary has secured 2 7-year contracts from the BMC worth approximately 1,330 crore rupees. Kunal, a chart check on Antony Waste. It's a stock we don't talk about much, but how has this been shaping up on the charts?
Apologies, I don't track the stocks, so I'll skip.
Okay, Somil, do you have a view on this one?
Apologies, me too. I don't track the stock.
Sure.
Probably I'll be able to find someone.
Somil AMCs, because those are going to be in focus for sure today. Any favorites within that pack for a trade?
Absolutely. HDFC AMC, always a favorite. Been tracking UTI as well. HDFC AMC, let me give you the levels. HDFC AMC been correcting for a little while now in the last couple of months. However, the overall trend still remains positive in the medium term, long term both. Right now, it is exactly at the 200 daily exponential moving average, but the downtrend in the very short term is expected to continue till 2350 2400 levels. So that is a very crucial support zone that I think that will be the level where we need to revisit and search for a buying opportunity. So bullish on HDFC AMC and UTI AMC as well, but UTI is a avoid at this point of time, but HDFC AMC is buy on dips definitely.
Okay. And Neeraj, your final thoughts with regard to this AMC space, because we've taken a view from industry, we've taken a view from analysts, but you have a unique, you will give us a unique perspective. You'll zoom out, cut the clutter and give us a sense as to whether it's a good time to enter the AMC space at this point.
Yeah, I think because I've been positive on the AMC space, I continue to be positive there. The kind of valuation ICICI Pru is coming out with, they valued them equal to what HDFC AMC was trading. And I think with the expectation of the listing is much better than the issue price. And, there are other listed players like Nippon India AMC, which I feel has good scope and valuation wise, that's more attractive. So I think because the kind of growth you're seeing there will continue. So I continue to be positive on. And plus the SEBI measures which came were not as bad as they were initially, talking about. So that may also give some sort of a base to these talks, and there may be some relief because of that.
Okay, Neeraj, appreciate that view and appreciate you joining us on the show today as well. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.